blanketed the state of Idaho, but inside it's spectacular. The Boise State Broncos go toe-to-toe with the UNLV Rebels. It's college basketball on Fox Sports 1 in the Mountain West Conference. Now, what's exciting about this matchup, besides the fact that Boise State has their eyes completely focused on the NCAA tournament, is two elite players going toe-to-toe. As a matter of fact, the Mountain West has so much to offer as it pertains to elite athletes, but we're seeing a couple of them in this matchup tonight. When we see the work that gets done by Bryce Hamilton and Derek Alston, I'll let you start with the pride of Pasadena, the talented lefty, Bryce Hamilton. Go.
Bryce Hamilton is a lefty. He's strong, he's physical, and he scores in a number of different ways. He is a tough cover.
So when you think about who this man can be, Alston, he's lean, but he slices, he's fearless, goes to the line a bunch. How would you stop him as a coach? Because he's tough.
It's very difficult to stop a guy that's 6'9", that shoots the ball and handles the ball the way that he does with a high IQ.
When you take a look at the starting lineup and you see who has made their work in there, Caleb Grill is a big-time shooter. Moses Wood is very important. Obviously, Derek Alston looks to Armush, who is important. Abu Kidjab can be very important, too, for the Boise State Broncos, the starting lineups for both of these teams. We're glad to have you with us. We really are, and we're glad you're spending time with all of us. Hamilton, if you can quiet him, you quiet the team. There is some young talent on this team. Nick Blake is, for an example, a guy who can get you going with scoring. David Jenkins, this is a big-time scorer in his career. And it's the same with Boise State. Any elite team outside of Derek Alston, they do have options, but they do need Alston to have a good night. Guys like Emmanuel Acott's kind of having his coming-out party lately.
Yeah, Emmanuel Acott is in a groove right now. He had 16 points in the first game, 11 big points when they really needed it and made their run in the first half against UNLV in the first game.
Leon Rice, the head coach of this squad, they had big plans, hoping to maybe play in front of more fans in this matchup. Couldn't pull it together. They're excited here in Boise. And obviously, Coach T.J. Otzelberger, the head coach of UNLV, and he lost 33 days with his team this year. With that in mind, just with that in mind, it's spectacular what they have pulled off this year.
They've done a really good job considering the out, not being able to practice for a month straight. That's unheard of.
Like King Jones, Darren Sutton, glad to have you with all of us for Mountain West basketball on Fox Sports 1. Away we go. You looked good in your suit. No one got to see it, but you looked really good.
Thank you, man. The feeling's very mutual.
Boise State moves the basketball around, and we talked about the fearlessness and the approach for a guy like Mladen Armush, so important out of Serbia. He averages 8, rebounds 8 per game as well.
Yeah, Armush is doing a really good job of giving them more offense as of late. In the beginning of the season, he was pretty much just a defender, but as of late, he's been doing a really good job giving them offense.
Boy, for a guy with that kind of size, he's kind of fearless to move around. You see him taking a jump at a steal. Here's Mladen one more time.
Yeah, you see the big fella catch on the pick and roll, and he uses that soft touch with that left hand. That's hard to do.
At 13 plus 8 in the Game 1 win. And yes, if you're watching for the first time this conference on Fox Sports 1, they play 2 gamers. Nice job, Boise State, stepping in front, drawing the foul. There's the do-everything in Alston.
And you see that right there. You see the leadership. You see him sacrificing his body. Derek Alston, like you said, Darren, he does everything for his team. He is not just a scorer.
He's from Houston, Texas. This is a redshirt senior, Derek Alston. Straight Jesuit high school. And again, he's chasing 1,500 career points. He'll step back from the free throw line short.
And right here, UNLV, what they want to do in talking to Coach Otzelberger is they want to get paint touches. In Game 1, they attempted 28 three-point shots. They want to be more aggressive in getting the ball into the paint.
So it's interesting with UNLV, they want that, but they shoot threes all the time. And you made the point to me. I thought it was a wise one, obviously, with, of course, being a coach and all you've succeeded in doing. Penetration that time, they like that. That's Bryce Hamilton. But it's tough when you build your game around the three. You still can shoot the three, right? But it's just a different run of an offense.
Yeah, you can still shoot the three, but what you want to do is you want to try to get the ball into the paint and get kickouts to threes.
Kidjab will go to the line. He draws. So here's Hamilton.
Yeah, Hamilton right there. The defense, they were kind of confused with who was going to take him off of that pick and roll, and he did a great job of reading that, hitting the floater in the lane.
Boise State, a very aggressive team with regard to how they run this offense. When you take a look at pace of game, they are number 2 in the conference to San Jose State. Different than San Jose State, they've turned it into victories. So they want to play fast as Boise State. Yeah,
they have to play fast. They have so many scores and a deep bench that can score as well. So, you know, Coach Rice, he has to make sure all these guys are happy. So they have to put numbers on the board.
A couple of quick fouls on Wood. That's got to be frustrating. Number 1 in black has to go sit for just a few minutes. So that long distance shot, Hamilton comes up short. Now, when we talk about the 3-point shooting for Bryce Hamilton, he'll go about a third of the time from distance. Penetration coming up empty, no whistle. That was Marcus Shaver Jr.
Yeah, and like I said before, I mean, he scores in so many different ways. He can shoot the 3, he can get to the rim and finish, as well as the pull-up, as we saw earlier. Very talented scorer.
Devin Tillis tried to get it to Mbake Zhang, couldn't do so. A turnover. What happens back on the other side is Ray J. Dennis makes him play.
Yeah, and this is where Boise State is at their best in converting turnovers into transition baskets. That's where they are at their best. UNLV has to do a better job of taking care of the basketball.
I'm going to tell you what, Caleb Grill shoots the 3 from anywhere in the building. He came up empty. He loves to shoot.
Yeah, that's what he does, and what makes him special is how quick his release is when he catches to shoot it.
Tillis a little bit firm on the pass. Nice job, Hamilton, keeping it in play. I'll post him up. There's definitely a bit of a mismatch here. He'll give it a go, though. Quick double team from Alston.
And Tillis is a freshman, but he does some really good things out there, and he shows you that he has a really high basketball IQ because he does not allow himself to get rushed.
Leon Rice dealing with guys like Tillis and having an answer with a man like that, Mladen Armush. We had a great conversation. In the world of Zooms, we had a really positive one with Coach Rice the other day.
Yeah, Coach Rice, he really likes his team, and I mean, what coach wouldn't like coaching these guys? What's special about them is their ability to play off each other and make each other better. They're very, very unselfish.
They're going to get a whistle there on the reach. Mbake Zhang doing all he could to get around Armush. It looked like he went a little bit too firm, too strong.
Yeah, right there you see the duck in by Armush, and Mbake does a great job of overplaying, but reaches and gets a little bit of body. Kind of a touch foul right there for 2 big guys like that. Kind of a touch foul.
Here comes some danger. David Jenkins can flat score. This is a guy at 15 a game. He shoots a 3 a lot. Little runner along the baseline, comes up empty. Ray J. Dennis with the miss. Ray J., by the way, a sophomore out of Illinois.
And Ray J. does a very good job of running this team. Only a sophomore, but he has a 2-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio. Does a really good job of making sure his teammates get good looks.
Tried to set a high pick to Zhang. And another whistle underneath. Stepping into the right spot, Boise State. It's a quiet time so far for UNLV. A drive of about 2.5 minutes. Mr. Rice, could be a big night. Emmanuel Aycott, a transfer from Sean Miller's Arizona Wildcats team, the highest ranked recruit to ever join this Broncos program, and he really played like it the other night, White King.
He had a great game. Right there you see him knock down the 3, plays great defense, goes out in transition and gets the dunk. He has the pull-up. He has a complete package. What's most impressive is he had 11 of those 16 points in the first half when Boise made their run to get the separation to win the first half.
So it always takes time when you transfer to fit in. We understand that. Then you add COVID to the mix where you can't spend as much time together. Heck, head coaches usually open up their homes and have barbecues, have players, you know, come over and spend time with that way. I got to think for a transfer this year more than any other year, it takes a little bit more time. Am I right on that?
It takes time, but what he was able to do was sit out and practice for an entire season. And so he was able to learn the system, learn Coach Rice, learn his teammates. And so, you know, he had the benefit of having a year of sitting out.
Absolutely. And we see a benefit there as that one is dropped in the triple that time. And Mr. Aycott, as if he was watching the video and inspired by it. I never think about that as Hamilton drains the three. With regard to Emmanuel Acott, I don't always think of his range being that deep, but it is.
Yeah, he was feeling it on Thursday night. I mean, he's not typically a great shooter, but he was in a rhythm and a groove that he wasn't missing too many shots the other night.
An offensive foul that will send it back the other way. Here he is after his highlight clip, another highlight.
Yeah, he's just continuing to do what he did on Thursday night, still feeling it, still having the confidence. And then right there, you see they're looking to play inside out, get a paint touch, and then kick out to their shooters. Right there, you see Hamilton knock down the three.
Mike King, that's exactly what you were talking about. That angle was amazing. I can't believe how wide open he was.
Yeah, there was a misstep somewhere from the Bronco defense for him to be that wide open. He's the top leading scorer in the conference, and so for him to be wide open, there was definitely a miscue on defense from the Broncos.
A little jump hook, very pretty inside. The presence of Mbake Zhang, so important. 8 points a game, 8 rebounds a game.
Yeah, Coach Otzelberger, he talked about Mbake, and he mentioned that if he can give them a double-double, 10 points, 10 rebounds, then he's doing his job to help them win.
He just did his job there and helped defensively, didn't he?
Yeah, he did a really good job of protecting the rim right there.
Went straight up, arms straight up, didn't lean in, no whistle. There was some contact, but a nice, just clean defensive job. He's a huge presence.
Yeah, right here, you see him backing down. Does a really good job getting it to the rim, but cannot finish.
Zhang had 14 with 6 rebounds in the opener. As Acott turns the corner, doesn't like what he sees. He likes when he finds that man. That's the reason why. A triple dropped in by one of the elite scorers in this program's history, Derek Alston Jr.
And that's what makes this team special. Like I said before, their ability to find each other, and they play so unselfishly.
One extra pass, just one extra pass, and it makes all the difference in the world. David Jenkins with the three.
Yeah, David Jenkins comes into this program with 1,194 points scored at South Dakota State. If you're looking for a transfer that's going to help you, couldn't find a better guy than David Jenkins Jr.
Penetration, 3 with the pass off the mark, and then a whistle as Alston went fighting for that rebound. Shaver with the miss, and then out of Phoenix, Arizona.
Yeah, it doesn't take Derek Alston too much time to get that off. It's 6'9", long arms. It's hard to guard.
A couple of fouls on Hamilton, so we'll keep an eye on that. See some fresh faces come out. That specifically with the support for UNLV as they empty the bench just a little bit. Reese Browns will get some key minutes now. Number 15 working. He's got his hands full, doesn't he, folks? But he does a nice job, does Reese Brown. Armush with the miss.
Armush has him by about 80 pounds. He made a miss there.
Yeah, different look on the floor right now. The key scorer, the most important focal points, David Jenkins, as that one is fired away. We're also seeing a lot of responsibility for 22 in black. It's Nick Blake. Blake has had to step up and run this offense as a freshman. You know, obviously you have a guy like Marvin Coleman who can handle the offense out for the year. That's a big responsibility for
huge responsibility. And Coach TJ, he talked about, you know, his confidence in Nick to run their program. And here's what's going to happen. This is going to be invaluable for him moving forward as he continues his career here at UNLV.
Presence in the paint. Blake was around, but Armush was the story. Physical, strong, and he's the bodyguard to this man. This man's not afraid to go inside, but he's so dangerous out there. Boise State, strong start. That's a perfect shot for this question. When you have a team with 7 different players that have scored 19 or more points, and that's the team you coach, what are your thoughts on that team? What does that mean statistically?
Well, you just got to make sure that the minutes are where they're supposed to be. You know, you want to make sure that you have the right guys on the court at the time, the right chemistry, with these guys, because you know, they have so much talent, but at the same time, you know, you want guys that can play off each other.
It's kind of stunning, isn't it? That many guys that have gone above 19 points. Kind of stunning to me.
When you look at Boise State and you see Acott coming off the bench, you see Dutrieve coming off the bench, 2 Arizona transfers. These guys would start for most teams in the conference, and so you got to credit Coach Rice and his staff that these guys have bought in and they trust and believe in these guys to accept their role.
And you look at the foul tally, by the way, and you see 6 for UNLV already at the 12-minute mark.
Yeah, most noticeably, Bryce Hamilton out with 2 fouls right now in the first half.
Boy, in and out of the hands of Mbake Jeong, and here comes Alston. Eyes wide open.
You see Max Rice in the game, coach's son. Throws it away. He usually comes into the game and does something good right away.
That man's watching. You don't want him watching.
No.
And obviously, the foul tally has him sitting for a bit. He's got a pair.
Yeah, to get a win tonight, they need him on the floor. You know, he finished up the first game with 26 points, 24 of which he scored in the second half. Scored their last 16 points, so that tells you how valuable he is to this team.
Jenkins will blast it, as we talked about, and so will Grill. What it means when you have Jenkins and Grill is the important factors. It's a long-distance dedication. I mean, a lot of outside shooting when they're your key scores. Tillis penetrates, draws the foul. He'll go to the line.
And you see right there, he does a really good job of selling the up fake. You gotta admire his ability, his IQ as a freshman. When you watch him play, he doesn't feel like he's a freshman out there. He does some really good things for UNLV.
His moments come and go, certainly. I mean, when you're a little bit further down on the depth chart, you wish you had more time. He had, in a couple of games against Air Force, he went for 10, then went for 9. The other night, he had 2 points and 5 rebounds. There's some length, there's some wingspan there, too. He'll grab rebounds for you. 15-12. White King Jones, Darren Sutton, glad to have you with us here in Boise, Idaho, where the snow, it is blanketed the outdoors. It's beautiful, though. It's done snowing for now.
For now. Yeah, this morning it was coming down hard, but once the snow stopped, it was beautiful out there.
Little runner, Devonair Dutrieve. You were talking about that other key player, the Arizona transfer as well.
Yeah, he's a valuable piece for them. Just got eligible to play 9 games ago, and so he's actually like 10 games in, and so for Coach Rice, he has to feel really good that he can bring a guy that talented off the bench.
In his days of playing for Sean Miller, as a matter of fact, before he had ever even played in a game, as the pure scorer Jenkins dropped that in. Dutrieve, in what they call the red-blue game down there in Tucson, Arizona, was the dunk champion. Boom, freshman year. That's the kind of athleticism he has.
Yeah, he's a born basketball player. His body, when you look at his frame, his length, he's a natural athlete.
You coached against him, limited time, obviously, but I guess I was going where he's a little bigger and stronger than he was, and that's what you hope happens.
Yeah, he has developed. He's put on more muscle since he's been here in Boise.
Alston with the triple. 2014. Derek's got 6 points. He's got 3 rebounds in 11 minutes of work thus far.
Yep.
They shoot the 3 a lot, but they love when they can do that. Beautiful pass. Jenkins hits the big fella, Mbake Jeong.
And that's a great find by Jenkins to find Mbake. I don't even think Mbake knew that pass was coming. He looked up and it was in his hands, and he did a really good job of finishing. But you see that they're following the game plan and trying to get more baskets in the paint as opposed to just relying on the three-point shot.
Dutrieve turns it over. He's trying to fire that one into the corner where his former Arizona teammate Acott was waiting for the basketball. Any turnover you can give, I can give one back. Devonair Dutrieve with the bucket. Streaking out front just enough.
And that's where Boise State is at their best. You cannot have live turnovers against them. They will connect on those, and so The Rebels are going to have to do a much better job of protecting the ball, taking care of the basketball.
And they're not going to turn it over much. The 4 total almost surprising. One of the top teams in the country as far as turnover percentage goes. Love when big guys can pass, and that's what happened that time. Nick Blake, the beneficiary of the big fella.
That was a great find by Jong, and when you look at that, Dutrieve has to do a better job on the weak side of dropping and not hugging his man on the weak side. He should have been in the lane to deflect that pass.
And he did a nice job defensively. Basketball Reference, an advanced metric called win shares. It's simply put, offense, defense, how much you impact the team, and it tallies up how many wins your game creates. Number 1 on that UNLV team is Mbake Zhang. He has more win shares than anybody else amongst his teammates.
Yeah, he's been a staple in the program for the last couple years. And again, you see them go to the pick and roll. Jenkins decides to launch the 3. And Grill with a wide open look, and he typically knocks those down.
That, by the way, second chance was kept alive by Mbake Zhang, tipping that ball into the hands of Tillis. Alston with the runner. Taken right out of the hands of Armish as he brings it back down. Derek, wow. Oh, my goodness.
And you got to give credit to Armish for that, for diving on the floor and making that pass. Finding Alston.
Out running, out front, Mountain West. We want to win this thing. NCAA tournament. Here we come. So we know he can play, and we're about to show you some pictures that can prove it. You want to give the coach's perspective. It's the leadership, especially after a couple of big losses.
Yeah, it's the leadership. And talking to Coach Rice after they got swept by Nevada, he said that he wished that there was every NBA scout in that practice on Monday to see what Derek Alston was saying and doing in that practice to get his team ready to play against the Rebels.
So those are the little things that we don't see, and that's why we like to talk with coaches. And when you have a coach and a coach talking, I let them just go, and I just learn. Both these teams shooting it pretty well. 44% for UNLV, of course, 10 of 20 overall for Boise State.
And you see, UNLV's making a more concerted effort to get more shots closer to the rim as opposed to just jacking threes, and it's working right now. I feel like they got a great game plan, doing a really good job of using Jung on pick and rolls.
The best lefty in Nevada is back on the hardwood. Hamilton, number 13 in that black jersey, the key scorer. He comes back on after sitting for a few minutes with a couple of fouls. His team's down 7. Mr. Rice, well off the mark that time. He's had his moments. I mean, there have been really good moments for Max. Last 9, not those moments. He's been a little bit more quiet. But look, early on this year, second game against New Mexico, he dropped 22 in 24 minutes on him.
Every time I would watch them play early in the season, as soon as he came in the game, he did something good. He knocked down a 3 or a pull-up or made a defensive play. In a little bit of a slump right now. But you know what you tell shooters when they're in a slump? Keep shooting.
Keep shooting the basketball.
Yep.
I don't think you have to twist his arm. I don't think you have to twist his arm. All Idaho 3 times. I mean, this is just, obviously, as a prepster, was a household name here. He averaged 23 with 8 rebounds as a senior.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Coach Rice has a funny story. He said that in practice, he called Max, and he said that Max responded by saying, "Yeah, Dad." So he said he stopped doing that and just started calling him 12.
That's a great story. Feet got busy, lost control of the basketball. Traveling violation, Hamilton. The drought is 3 minutes, just under 3 minutes for UNLV, trying to get some scoring going. They're 0 of their last 4. That head coach just fine with that, Leon Rice. An assistant at Gonzaga, an assistant at Oregon, as that one nearly a second chance created. Coach at Yakima Valley College, the journeys of Leon Rice. Jenkins turns the corner. Little dive, no whistle though in front of him defensively. Off glass, his teammate Hamilton.
That's a really good find by Jenkins. He could have shot that, made the extra pass, the unselfish play to get Hamilton involved. for the shot off the glass.
Been fortunate to see a lot and call a lot of these Mountain West games this year. I'm thrilled that I have a coach because there's as an analyst, because there's something I want to get into, and it's that 2-game series thing, almost like baseball, where you play multiple games in a location against the same team. Boy, what a strong presence in the middle, and Alston will take advantage of it, going to the hoop, no whistle.
Jung did a really good job of verticality, of going straight up, hands straight up, making Alston change his shot and miss. Really good defensive play by Jung.
How many times in your mind have you thought this through, what it would be like to play? Because as a coach, you never dealt with it. It's just so new. 2 games, same city, 3 days. What would that be like?
Yeah, it's an adjustment. It's an adjustment, but at the end of the day, it's still a game.
No, I understand.
You know, and you still got guys that want to compete and want to win. And, you know, it's definitely an adjustment to sit in the same hotel for 4 days in a row, to play the same opponent back-to-back. But I think these kids are, you know, these athletes, you know, they're adaptable. You know, they've adapted to what this strange schedule looks like this season.
Well, it's interesting because you have, you know, when you go in your film session, you have brand new fresh film, and it's you in the film playing against them, which is ever so rare.
And you know what's interesting is we've seen it where a team will blow a team out. Boise versus San Jose State, for example, where they won by 30, and then they come back and they barely beat San Jose State the second night. And so it doesn't always go the way that you would think.
Hammered against the backboard. Big-time block by Mbake Zhang. Jenkins looks to pay it off. He got busy behind the back dribble. We will step aside. How do you stay in those hotel rooms those 4 straight nights? Oh, my goodness. So we were talking about back-to-back 3 days. You play the same team. This is what happened the other night. Look, UNLV actually started strong in this game, King.
Yeah, they had a 19-13 lead. And Boise went on a 16-2 run that separated the first half, and they went into the locker room with a 12-point lead and ended up winning the game by 12 points.
And so now for Coach O, it's back to work, and that matchup he talked about, Boise State game 2, I was fortunate enough to be on the microphone, and it was the first time I had seen San Jose State in person all year long, and you couldn't tell me they weren't a great team. They had lost by, it felt like, 7 touchdowns the first game.
Yeah, and they could not, they hit everything in the second game, and so you can't just take for granted that, you know, if you win the big game, the first game big, you can't just come into the arena thinking that it's going to happen again.
Grab the steaks, by the way. The grill's ready, and when he gets hot, it rolls. He drops in a triple. He loves to shoot. And he's not one of those that has to be wide open and has to square up. He'll off balance. In his mind, he's telling himself it's time to shoot, and that triple's important for UNLV.
Yeah, when you got a quick release the way that he does, you can get away with that.
Oh, hello, Devonair Dutrieve. Give him a couple there, just a 2, just inside the line. Wow.
And that's 7 points for Dutrieve, and that shows you right there, 7 points in the first half. A guy that's coming off your bench that's able to give you that type of production is invaluable.
Tillis goes to work. Right along the baseline, he earns himself a whistle. He was determined.
Yeah, right there, Kigab does a great job. Kigab does a great job of finding him, but then he has the patience in the IQ to take his time, sell the up fake, and knock down the 3.
First foul on Kigab. Two minutes till these teams take a short break, head into the locker room. Mr. Jenkins drains yet another triple. He's got 8 points.
Prolific scorer. You're talking about 1,194 points in 2 seasons of basketball. 19.7 points his second year at South Dakota State.
UNLV will grab the basketball again.
Yeah, right here you see Kigab, who's a really good defender. Just too late. Jenkins with the quick trigger.
Some huge scoring games. He once had a 34-point game when he was with South Dakota State at Omaha, in which he dropped in 10 three-pointers. Hello, that wasn't a triple. That was a beautiful pass to the big fella, Mbake Jean.
Yeah, Boise's going to have to make some adjustments on that defensively to get someone to drop on that ball screen. The opposite wing has to drop. Right there, Kejab has to commit to that until Milner comes back to guard Jong.
Hey, by the way, that was slick Nick Blake there. We talked about him growing as a point guard. That was a pretty pass.
That was a great pass. Put it right on the money for the big fella to go throw it down.
Boise State trailing UNLV.
Yeah, before you know it, you look up and UNLV's up by 1 point.
Yeah, they're one of their last 7 from the floor, Boise State is.
UNLV's doing a really good job of getting good things out of that pick and roll with Jong. He's got 6 points, all 6 points, all 3 baskets came off pick and roll.
Nick went to IMG Academy, is a Vegas native. Played his travel basketball for the Las Vegas Knicks, did Nick Blake.
Yeah, and like I said before, Darren, him having to be thrown into the fire and play point guard right now and run this team is really going to help him in his career as a Rebel.
Now the greats want to have you hop on their back. That's why Alston shot that basketball. Came up empty that time. Right at 1 minute as Blake runs the offense. Again, we see the exact lob. This time, this little jump hook comes up empty. Armush, nice job defensively.
Much better job defensively, getting back after the pick and roll.
Raycott so active for his size. Again, we know he can get inside and rebound. We saw it on display there just a moment ago. Manuel trips. There's a whistle, though, on Jenkins. Looked like he may have been tripped up.
Yeah, he clipped him a little bit. He did a really good job of selling it up fake. Gets tripped up on his way to the rim.
From Winnipeg, Manitoba. In 2016, he played on the U17 national team today, caught for Canada in the FIBA U17 Worlds. Those moments, that kind of experience is invaluable.
It is. So this is a very important possession for the Rebels to be able to go into the locker room feeling good about their first half. They can get something out of this this last possession.
Well, if they can add one more bucket, it would be huge. Try to slide that little pass through the keyhole and couldn't do it.
Yeah, you got it. You probably should have went up high to get that to Jong.
That's a great thought, Coach, when you think about it that way, right? I mean, you have such height, such presence, and
yeah, and
that was almost a guard-to-guard pass.
Yeah, that's a tough catch for a big fella. He didn't roll far enough to be able to get that.
Well, now Boise State can have that great taste in their mouth. Let's see. Long distance dedication and well off the mark by Kejab. So the positive is UNLV, who came up short in game 1 of this matchup, goals out the first blow to Leon Rice and his team. Some big moments certainly for UNLV, but Jenkins Jr. with his 8 points were key in his 16 minutes of work. On the other end, Dutrieve, he added 6. Alston added 9. What will the second half hold? UNLV would love to be the spoiler on the road. We lead at 28-27 for Boise State. Darren Sutton, White King Jones back on campus. The snow is all around that Boise State University sign. Safe to drive, certainly. It's beautiful now. It's going to snow again. Now, when you think about the first half, take a look at what was key. Obviously, Alston is always key for Boise State. Yeah,
Alston had to come back from only having 9 points in game 1. And you see him starting off with a hot start with 9 points already.
Mbake Jean, though, very important on both sides.
Jean's doing an unbelievable job on both sides, as you said, Darren.
And Mr. Grill, big 3. He loves it. They shoot the 3 a lot. That's the bottom line, White King.
Yeah, and he's one of the best that they have on that team, and so he's doing a really good job getting them up.
When you take a look at what went on, you can see that Boise State 5 of 11 from distance, and for UNLV 4 of 12. Interesting fast break points for the Devils, just methodical. That's how they're scoring their points, and interestingly enough, out-rebounding Boise State.
Yeah, the Rebels are doing a really good job on the glass, and that's the difference in the game right now. They're only up by 1, but that's what's keeping them in the game, is that they're rebounding.
What does the second half hold for Mr. Alston? You've got a feeling that he will have an even bigger second half fight for Boise State. Beautiful Boise, Idaho. Glad to have you back with us. There are names like Greg Graham and Rod Jensen and Bus Connor. Those are some of the coaches that have coached for this program. But the winningest coach, Bobby Dye, took this team to the NCAA tournament a handful of times, as you can see. And I think the good news is currently there's a man who's about to move past him, White King, and Leon Rice.
Yeah, and what an unbelievable honor for Coach Rice to become the all-time winningest coach in this program. And he's a relatively young coach, and so he's got a whole lot of years left to be the head of this program. And so what an unbelievable honor for him.
If you think back to the career of Coach Dye, he did great work in the 70s at Cal State Fullerton when they were in the PCAA. Obviously, Boise State was a Big Sky team when he was coaching them back then.
Yeah, and I also like to add that, you know, Coach Rice, he also has to give a lot of credit to his coaching staff as well, because he doesn't do it on his own. There's a lot of different pieces that makes this program successful. So I'm sure he wants to give a lot of credit to his program, to his staff as well.
Tim Duryea, Mike Burns, R.J. Barsh on that staff. All right, both coaches, pick a side. I don't care. Let's start with UNLV. What'd you chat with your players about at halftime?
Well, they got to keep being tough. They were the more physical team in the first half. I would expect Hamilton to be a lot more aggressive offensively, like he was in the first game in the second half. Got into some foul trouble and only played 11 minutes.
Wow. Hand in the face, certainly. Maybe not enough. Nick Blake was right there, but there's Alston with the 3.
Yeah, and he's keeping that hot hand right now coming out of the locker room. I would expect Marcus Shaver Jr. to step up and give him a little bit more. He's a third leading scorer, and he was held scoreless in the first half.
Is that a little bit of what your theme would be if you're Leon Rice? If you're Coach Rice, what do you say to Boise State?
Well, they got to be more physical. Like I said, UNLV's the more physical team. They have to be more physical, and they have to do something on the pick and roll coverage. I mean, they're not getting the job done right there. Jung has lived on that, and so they have to do a better job of bumping him when he rolls to the basket and having coverage.
Hamilton penetrates, fires it to the grill, which is on and ready to go to work. He drops that one in there. Caleb with a couple of triples.
The grill's always hot.
Grab a beverage, the grill is on.
Yeah, he does, like I said before, he does a great job of getting the ball up quick before the defender.
There is that penetration. You were speaking about the importance of what he could be, and coming up empty that time. R.J. Dennis. 31-30, UNLV on top.
You got to be thinking, how long is Coach Otzelberger gonna keep Jenkins on the bench? He had the hot hand in the first half with 8 points. How long can he afford to keep him on the bench?
Dribble that one right on out of bounds. Good point, too. You know, Coach O didn't really have much out of Mr. Wood, who had a couple of quick fouls. Moses Wood, who's a guy who can shoot the 3, number 1 in that black jersey. He can shoot the 3, but also is a strong defender, right up there and block shots.
Yeah, he's what we call a stretch 4, a 4-man, a power forward that can really shoot the ball and stretch the defense with his ability to shoot. And like you said, Darren, he didn't play a lot of minutes. He was in foul trouble in the first half, but that allowed for Tillis, who came in and did a solid job, as well as Jenkins, to come off the bench.
Armish to Alston a moment ago, a thing of beauty. Beautiful pass. Check this out. Watch Big Armish, and of course Alston's going to close when he gets it.
Yeah, Armish catches it in the post off the block quite a bit. And Alston, with the high IQ, does a great job of moving without the ball on the dive from the top of the key for the finish.
A couple of quick turnovers here in and out of the hands of the big fella. That's 9 turnovers on the game for UNLV. And that has, unfortunately, Mbake Zhang sitting down.
Yeah, and at this point, Boise's already got 10 points off of UNLV's turnover, so UNLV's not going to be able to afford to continue to turn the ball over if they want to get a win tonight.
We'll see how long the big fella watches this one, because he has been very important in this game. As Boise State leads it 32-31. Keep whistle for the foul that time.
Yeah, and he's been quiet tonight. He's, in my opinion, is one of their better all-around players, because he does so much for them. He's only got 2 points. He's their second leading scorer. Expect a little bit more from him tonight.
And that's his 3rd foul. And so certainly that's something of concern as you keep an eye on both these teams. Grill comes up short that time. By the way, the key minutes right now, Reese Brown is out there for UNLV. As Mbake Zhang sits down, Brown very important for this team now. A young man out of Albany, New York, just a freshman.
Coach Otzelberger
that's
substituting Jenkins in the game right now. I knew he couldn't wait for too long.
And Mbake Zhang got his quick, please take better care of the basketball speech. Now get back out there.
Yeah, and you wonder, the way that Jenkins can score the basketball, 33 points against Utah State in a loss. You wonder why he's coming off the bench. And Coach Otzelberger, he wants him to do a better job on the defensive end. And you got to respect that as a coach, that he'll bring a guy that can score the ball that well off the bench, because he believes in the principles of playing tough defense.
So the defense is there that time. Turnover. Sends it back the other way. Mr. Aycock, that's the right call. Three and a half minutes have disappeared as we roll into the second half. Hamilton strong, a little bit too strong off the glass. Gets his own rebound. Little fade inside of the line, comes up empty.
And this is where Boise State is at their best, in transition.
Alston makes the game look so easy. Sitting here close, watching him work. Long distance three, and a defensive rebound sends it back the other way. Jenkins traveled. We will step aside. The pace, the beauty that we saw in the first half to start the game isn't here yet in the second half. It'll be here. Hang in there. We hope to see more and more moments like that with the 500, and we hope more and more return to normalcy. It's interesting why King Boise State's been aggressive within the rules and the laws and all the local regulations, but they had a game and a spot put together in Nampa, just outside of town, with a small, beautiful arena. Beautiful pass there, a miss though for Armush, and they were hoping to have fans in attendance.
Yep.
And not all the teams, visiting teams, are down with that, which is fine. Doesn't matter which teams. We'll keep it right down the middle, as you see that foul a moment ago. But I'll tell you, Coach Rice was very excited, still remains excited about playing in that beautiful arena in Nampa in front of fans, students.
Yeah, I don't know who's going to agree to come play in front of fans. But if they can make it happen and get all teams involved in agreement with fans, I think that it would be a great thing for the Boise State program to be able to play in front of fans. I know that this is one of the better teams that they've had in a long time, and as Coach Rice says, I know Bronco Nation is excited about coming and getting a chance to support these guys.
We'll see if that happens. Here's a moment ago. You called on Shaver, by the way.
Yeah, Shaver is just a matter of time before he starts getting buckets. He's a prolific scorer, transferred from Portland, University of Portland. In his 2 years at Portland, he scored almost 900 points. So he comes into the program as a guy that is accustomed to points on the board.
A couple of fouls on Alston, by the way, that whistle a moment ago, and Tillis drops in both free throws. Shaver, 1,000-point score. Shadow Mountain High School in Phoenix, Arizona. We had 21 at Colorado State earlier this year. It was a win at Colorado State on the road in that second game.
Yeah, and that's what makes this Boise State team so hard to guard. You don't know on any given night who the guy is going to be. It could be Alston, it could be Shaver, it could be Keyjob, it could be Acott off the bench, like in game one. He led them in scoring, and so that's what makes them very good.
This matchup all time, this is the 23rd meeting between these two teams. And it's close. Little runner inside the paint. Pretty thing there, David Jenkins.
Yeah, David Jenkins scores in a number of different ways. Very, very crafty, very veteran.
He's got 10. That one sails up and over in a nice hustle play, but it's turned over. Drill tried to grab it, go behind the back, but he fired it to his teammates that are enjoying the game on the baseline.
And Jenkins right here, you just see how crafty he is, being able to pull up and complete that floater in the lane. He did a great job of reading the defense, curled tight.
Earlier today, Fresno State was at Air Force. Orlando Robinson had 21 and 11. They were victorious, 67-64. You think about this conference and you think about the standings: Utah State, Boise State, Colorado State, San Diego State. Really, those are the tournament-bound teams. They hope they can all fight some way, somehow to get in there. But the net rating has Boise State at 37 and San Diego State at 23. It's going to be interesting as we get closer to the NCAA tournament. We'll chat about that. Wyking Jones, Darren Sutton, Boise State trailing at home. Love having the coach's perspective as we head into the final couple of weekends. Wyking Jones joining us. You can see Utah State, Boise State in that 2 spot, Colorado State and San Diego State. Now, Mr. DeCourcy, Mike DeCourcy says all of those teams are in. It's going to be interesting. Your thoughts on the big picture?
Well, you know, in talking to Coach Rice, you know, they finished the season up with 2 home games against Utah State and 2 road games against San Diego State. And he says that he's happy that they can, you know, they have their fate in their own hands. I think that if you're going into those two weekends, you know, you're happy if you can get out of those 2 weekends with a split with 2 teams that are that good.
And stay healthy. Bottom line, just stay healthy. Go split, stay healthy. You're ready for the tournament with that schedule. UNLV went into the locker room up 1. It's been a 7-7 second half. Wyking Jones, Darren Sutton, glad to have you with us. Shot clock at 15 as we go back to work. We have not seen a bunch of work being done by that gentleman, and it's fun to watch. That's Lucas Milner, the young man out of Kansas. He averages 2 and 1, but my goodness, there's a presence there. Lucas Milner is 6'10", maybe 6'11".
Yeah, he took advantage of his size right there. He used his size and his athleticism to get that bucket right there. But, you know, he's only averaging 2 points, but he's shooting 70% from the field. So he knows how to score once he gets it down there.
A junior, and on the other end, a bucket. Acott. 5 points, 2 of 4 from the floor for Emmanuel Acott. Turnover. Back the other way, missed the lay-in, knocked out of bounds.
You see Acott right there take his time. Didn't let the defense speed him up. Easy basket over the top jump hook with the right hand.
Is this the sprint? Is this the run? Boise State hopes it is right now.
Well, I've seen them. I've been in this building where they've been neck and neck with teams, and they've been able to make late runs.
Is that sometimes, especially with a team like this, is that sometimes just depth having its way with you?
Yeah, because, you know, at the end of the day, you know, fatigue is a factor. And so when you got guys that can come off the bench and give you something and give you quality minutes, you don't experience that as much as the other team.
Taking a peek, our officiating crew. Vern Harris, Larry Spalding, Mike O'Neill, our three officials doing a good job tonight. I guess it was a shot clock situation. Couple of ticks off the shot clock, swung into the corner, firm on the triple, but it is Marcus Shaver giving it a run. Nick Blake runs the offense for UNLV. He's got a couple of points, a single assist in this game tonight. Nice job, hands straight up, Acott defensively on Tilla, streaking out front to Treve. And a foul spent that time by Hamilton. The thing about it is he just spent his third foul.
Yeah, that's tough, but you got to give Emmanuel Acott a lot of credit for being able to get that block down there. He's a very, very good defender, and I think that he doesn't get enough credit for his ability to sit down and guard.
His last 3 games he's shot. I mean, his defense, we need to talk more about that. His offense for Acott, he shot almost 60% from the floor. He's averaging about 17 and 5 rebounds his last 3. So we can tell you what he did last time out, but his last 3, he's really grown into that impact player.
Yeah, Coach Rice talked about it. He missed 3 games with an injury. And once he got back into practice, he started to get his legs back, and we're starting to see the results of that last couple games.
Goodness gracious, Alston, he's got 16 now.
Yeah, a kid that talented. You knew that Alston, who only had 9 points in a 12-point win on Thursday, would come back tonight and really look to give them something.
Hello, Mr. Alston. It's a 9-0 run, and a beautiful pass, by the way. Milner was in some traffic. Boom, gone. Alston crushed it.
Alston did a great job of catch and shoot, and we just talked about it. He just makes plays. You know, he's the heart and soul of this team. You know, he just makes plays. And right here, you see him right here catch, and it's all net, Mr. Alston. And then he finishes it up with another 3.
King Jones, I'm going to ask you to be a pro scout for me and scout up Derek Alston at the next level. What are you seeing?
I'm seeing a guy that's got tremendous length, a great IQ, who's been in college for 5 years, so he's a veteran, and he can shoot the basketball. I think that he's definitely a prospect at the next level.
And he certainly is a great teammate, and obviously the best player on this team tonight. He's the best player on the floor.
Yeah, when I saw him have 9 points in the first game, I knew that he would come out tonight and be a lot more aggressive to score.
And that's hurt. It's a -8 right now for UNLV. And the big fella in the middle may have to be the turning point. We'll see if Zhang can come up big. He was a big part of anything they did in the first half that made a difference. Foul that time. Quick reach, a little too strong by Shaver.
Yeah, they did some really good things in the first half with Zhang and pick and roll action, and so it'll be interesting to see if they go back to that, especially with Hamilton on the bench right now.
And folks, if you're just joining us, one of the things Y King was talking about, this team UNLV is going to shoot the 3 all the time, but they need to shoot the 3 by dumping it in, dumping it back out. And what happened when they tried that is Zhang was important. Real fires that 3 up. There's a big fella. Fired it off the back of a Bronco. Fortunate it wasn't a turnover. Blake, no whistle there. That was a huge block by Alston, but that was an interesting one.
Yeah, I don't know if he got that after it hit the backboard or not.
Happened really fast, certainly. Let's see.
Yeah, it did. Well, it looked like he got it on the way up.
Yeah.
And, you know, that athleticism and that length is what's going to help him to make a team at the next level. Defensively, him having a presence.
Mbake backing in, soft touch, unkind rim. That one rings in and out. He picks up the steal and nearly knocks out Milner as he comes around. You're not getting this ball back.
They caught him with a small elbow.
It was completely incidental, but
yeah, it was.
That's two big fellas on a 50-50, though, scrapping for the
Milner, he did a really good job of eating it, though. Yeah, that's a little bit of body. Could have went either way.
9-0 run right now for the Broncos, and it's a scoring drought of 4 minutes for UNLV. Who stops it? Who gets it going? This man can for sure. He's got 3 fouls. Little runner, and there's the roll. That's the shooter's touch.
And he's been quiet for a while. They needed him to get that basket. Hopefully he can find a rhythm.
Kijab back on the floor with 3 fouls as well. Something worth keeping an eye on as we race towards 10 minutes. Moses Wood earns the foul. He got banged pretty firmly, by the way. Here's Hamilton.
Yeah, if I'm guarding Hamilton, I'm not giving him that left hand. I'm forcing him back to his weak hand and make him score over the top of me going right. There's no way that I'm opening up and letting him go left.
Wood with his 3rd foul. Hasn't been his night.
It has been that man's night as he turns it over.
Jenkins, Grill on the lead, up and under. That one swatted. They'll count that one that time. Goaltending. Armush.
As you can see, UNLV continuing to scrap and claw to stay in this game. Right when you think that Boise's starting to make a run, UNLV makes some plays to get back into it.
Kind of felt like it. Kind of felt like they were running to the finish line, but that's exactly what has gone on. Aycock, short. Wood trying to do what he can. He's an impact player, grabs a defensive rebound. He's got 3 boards to go along with those 3 fouls. Hasn't shot the ball yet tonight. That man loves to shoot it, and that's the reason why. A triple for Jenkins.
Yeah, you got to have your hands up. He caught that. The defender had his hands down.
The drought for Boise State is 2:30. This man ends droughts. Not that time, though. Wood grabs another defensive rebound, trying to fill up that stat sheet, help his team. Under 10. And they'll get Dutrieve with a foul. It's a 7-0 UNLV run right now.
They're right there on the catch. You see, Kijab is late. That's Dutrieve, actually. He's late. Doesn't really get into him. If anything, you want to chase Jenkins off that 3-point line, make him put the ball on the floor and dare him to score in the paint. You can't give him an open 3. He shot 45% from 3 in his last season at South Dakota State. He's a pure shooter.
This 7-0 run is the largest run for UNLV of the night. Their largest lead has only been 1. Big break there. Got to get rid of it quickly. Oh, the grill, get the steaks, get the burgers, get the hot dogs. The grill's hot.
The grill is hot. And that's just a great play by UNLV, staying with the miss, working on the offensive glass, finding the open shooter, and knocking it down.
Nice job defensively, but a second chance, and it's swatted away by Wood. I'm telling you what, on that side of the floor, on that side, Wood has been very important the last 3 or 4 possessions.
Wood has been important as well as Jones. You can't leave Grill open. He only needs half a second to get it off. Huge play. And you got to give Coach Otzelberger a lot of credit. You know, you're talking about a team that missed a month of basketball, could not practice, couldn't do anything, missed a month of practice. And they're in this game against one of the better teams, best teams in the conference. Got to give him and his staff a ton of credit.
Foul underneath, fighting for that rebound. Zhang whistled for the foul. By the way, Kijab's got 4 fouls now for Boise. Rice comes back on. Max Rice for Boise State.
Now you see UNLV in the zone, what they'll do is, what I saw them do earlier is as soon as the first pass is made, they immediately go right to man. And what they're doing right there is they're getting you to run your zone offense. And they're looking to match up.
Ray J penetrated, got it to Alston. Look how athletic he is. Nearly fell down and still made that pass. Shot clock is at 3, 2. Just a little bit unkind with the roll, but to follow his bodyguard. And Armosh comes up empty. Here we go. UNLV continuing on a 10-0 run.
And what UNLV is doing that's winning them the game right now is they're out rebounding the Broncos.
Oh my goodness. Ray J. Dennis, you are invited to our house to play, but not to do that. The son of a coach, a high school coach. Both parents played basketball. He's a transfer from Iowa State. He's a dangerous three-point shooter. Caleb Grill has come up big lately.
And you see right there, that's a miscommunication on defense. He notices it, knocks it down. Then he only needs half a second to get it off. Quick release. And the Grill is hot even in the snow.
Goodness gracious. Loves to shoot. I mean, you know, I think I've been fortunate enough to call maybe 5 UNLV games this year. And that's the one thing you know, he loves to shoot it. One of his final games as a member of that Iowa State team with a little less playing time, certainly. He dropped 9 with 8 rebounds in the Big 12 tournament on Oklahoma State. And then it was off to UNLV. Shaver's a guy that could answer. Penetrates, turns it over, and it's Grill who ends up with it.
That's a great defensive play by Grill. Great read by him on the back door.
And just awareness, as you said, Coach. I mean, just really anticipating and coming up with a key play on the other side. And the little moments that they've needed. Guys like Moses would have been important on the other end. You wouldn't know it if you looked at what he has given as far as points and assists and rebounds. And you know it has to go through him. And it does. A big bucket in Bakke Jean.
And Bryce Hamilton made that play right there. That was a spoon feed to Jean for the layup.
But you keep waiting for Bryce. He's going up. He's going up. We got to stop him. Can't let him score.
Yeah, he garners a lot of attention. And so, you know, Coach Otzelberger talked about it. He said that when Bryce Hamilton has 5 or more assists, he feels really good about their opportunities to win.
This is a 12-0 run. Sorry about that. 12-0 run.
Yeah, so, you know, you look at a player like that, he's averaging 18 points a game. He has to be aggressive to score, but at the same time, when he sees a double team, he has to be a willing passer as well. And you see right here, he garners so much attention. You know, Armosh stays with him on the roll. There is no help on the opposite side. He finds Jean for an absolute layup.
3 fouls on Alston. 8 team fouls of Boise State. Not into the double bonus, not yet, but almost there. Devin Tillis, Windward High School.
Yeah, I like him. He doesn't seem like a freshman out there. Seems very sure of himself. Plays with a poise that I can see why Coach O likes him so much.
They do have an answer. A little bit of noise now. Boise State ends that run. Alston, who else? He's got 22.
He's got 22 and 6 for 8 from the three-point line.
They pull things back together with a shot clock at 10. Unbelievable touch.
That's almost unguardable, Darren. I mean, when a guy, he went to drive, stopped on a dime, pivoted, and faded. I don't know how you can stop that.
He's got 13 points. Again, it would be more, but he's had to battle in and out of foul trouble tonight. Jenkins, or I should say Hamilton, plays with those 3 fouls.
Yeah, Alston right there Grill does you cannot go underneath the screen on a guy that just hit 5 threes. And then you see Hamilton right there. He goes aggressive to the rim. Spins out, fade away, left hand, all net.
Grill 11, Jenkins 13, Hamilton 11. Hamilton's got 6 rebounds and 3 assists as well. Alston's got 22. Supporting cast a little bit more quiet with regard to that. Dutreeve's got 6. That's the second leading scorer. Handful of 5s. Acott's got 5. But 23 now for Alston.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it and you see that Keyjob, who's their second leading scorer, and Shaver, who's their third leading scorer, only have 2 points apiece. Even though Alston is playing above his average, you know, Coach Rice would want more from those guys.
Both teams in the bonus from here on out. Keyjob got schooled just a little bit there, cleared the space with that quick pivot, and he drains it. Hamilton now 13.
And Hamilton is looking like he looked in game 1 when he finished the game with the Rebels' last 16 points. In the second half with 24 points, you see he's starting to feel it now.
Third personal on Mbake Jeong. Alston with 1 and 1.
Alston back to the line.
UNLV with 25 defensive rebounds to Boise State's 18. Drops in the first. In the second half, UNLV shooting 43%, Boise State 33, both with 3 3-point makes. This game may be won at the line now. We'll see.
Right here you see Boise going to their 1-2-2 press. More than anything, they're just looking to make UNLV use some clock, speed them up a little, try to get them to turn it over.
Dillis was begging for the basketball in the corner. UNLV milks some clock. Hamilton, firm, knocked out of bounds. Mbake Jeong went up to try and grab that one. UNLV basketball, though. Boise State last touch.
Only 3 seconds on the shot clock. Let's see if they try to get something at the rim. It looks like Hamilton's going to come off a stagger. Yeah. With Jeong out in the corner, you got to imagine he's going to screen in.
Up with it quickly, Jenkins. Bang!
Huge shot. Huge.
Oh, he's got 15, by the way, folks. Couple of rebounds.
They did a really good job of executing that play.
Well, you spotted it. Jeong goes straight up. That's 4 fouls on him, though.
Right here you see Jeong. He does a great job of... Well, Shaver was there. I don't understand why you wouldn't have your hands up on a guy that shoots the ball as well as Jenkins does.
He stays in, right, at this point for you? I mean,
yeah,
you win this game with him out there, right?
Absolutely. You have to roll. You have to roll with it at this point. He's doing such a good job on the offensive end and defensive end with his ability to change shots, to block shots. You got to let him play the last 4 minutes.
And so if you're Mr. Rice and you know that,
you're trying to go at him. You're trying to go at him.
It's going to be interesting to see because with him and his impact on the floor, he has been so important. And Mbake Jeong plus minus right now is 6. Jenkins 11. Wood 8. I'm not surprised about that with Wood. Not the big fella batting that one away. Forcing the steal.
I think right there, Coach O would rather have Bryce Hamilton or Jenkins handling the ball against pressure, making those decisions.
Alston has been hot. How hot will he be heading to the finish line? He's got 8 field goals. 6 of them are threes. A season high for him, and 3-point makes in the game. So you think about UNLV, the keys tonight. Obviously, we've had fun with Grill, his name. We've had fun with Hamilton. He's elite. But Jenkins, very quietly, has keyed this team.
Yeah, Jenkins with 15 points lead them in scoring at this point. And you just see, you know, what makes him really good is his lift on his shot. You see him get up off the ground on his shot and just his belief in his ability to score. And like we talked about before, you're talking about a guy that came in with almost 1,200 points in his pocket before he came into this program. And so scoring is just something that he naturally does.
Like King Jones, Darren Sutton. We've got a good one tonight, folks. This has been a pleasure to be a part of. Right away, UNLV grabs hold.
I don't think that's what Coach Rice drew up.
Not at all. At the 3:30 mark to the finish line. You think about UNLV in those 33 games, or 33 days, I should say, they were shut down. You and I were talking about it in the break.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about 3 days to prepare for conference after being out for 30 days. And for them to be able to come into this building and play this sort of game, you have to give Coach Otzelberger a whole lot of credit, him and his staff. You got to give him a ton of credit.
They came out when they were shut down for that long time, and they opened with Colorado State on the road, thank you very much, and lost only by 3. Each game lost by 3.
And he talked about it. He said that, you know, one of the things that they had to figure out as a staff is how long could they keep their players out on the floor for practice. And, you know, you're trying to put defensive schemes in, you're trying to put your plays in. It's very, very difficult after being off the floor for a month.
3rd foul on Tillis. Kejab looking to make an impact in this game right now. He earned that whistle. It's 1 of 3 from the free throw line. He's got 3 points. He's fighting out there with 4 fouls as he makes the first one. Boise State double bonus. That man the rest of the way. All right, here we go. Every possession feels bigger and bigger as it gets later and later. Vegas by a pair. Defense extended for a moment for Boise State.
Well, Boise's falling back into a zone after their press.
Jenkins will shoot that ball. Or that one. Or that one. A little bit firm off the back of the iron. They got a whistle there instead of a jump ball. That's a tough call, Kejab. And that's 5. He's fouled out of this game.
And right here you see Jong does a great job of securing that offensive rebound, which gets Kejab the foul. But UNLV, the reason why they're winning this game right now is they've been out hustling Boise State all night. They've been winning the battle of the 50-50 balls.
Or the little things. And again, replay showed, I think you folks at home may feel different. It really looked like on the replay that was the right call. It's a tough call to make, but it looked like that was the right call. You tell me, Coach.
Yeah, I mean, he came over his arm. Yeah, I mean, I think it's the right call.
And he gets it. Jong gets that call because it looks like from the jump, that ball's just a 50-50 ball, but Jong cleared that up.
It's a 50-50 ball that Jong beat Kejab to, and Kejab came over his back to try to steal. A little bit too physical and picked up the foul.
And Mbake Jong is at the line. He's got 8 points. He's got 7 rebounds. He's got a couple of assists. He's working with 4 fouls right now. And he misses his attempt there. Heading towards 2 minutes to go in this contest. UNLV by a pair. Caught shirt untucked, looks to get going. He was so key in the first game. His last 3 games, he's been huge. Shot clock at 5. Look at Aycott's bounce. Long distance triple, rings in and out. Armush creates a second opportunity and ties the game.
Huge offensive rebound by Armush in the putback.
Blocking foul that time. Shaver.
That's really good defense by Tillis. But you see Armush working, throwing that big body around. Gets the offensive rebound, the soft putback with the left hand.
It's a bold possession, by the way, for Boise State. Third foul on Shaver. Jenkins has 15. 0 for 1 from the line. 0 for 2 now. 76% free throw shooter coming in. David's gone to the line prior to this game 37 times. Hamilton 44. Those are the two most active at the line. UNLV doesn't usually win or lose its games at the free throw line. They do it from long distance. They lead by just 1.
Very important defensive possession for UNLV. Been doing a great job overall tonight in limiting Boise State to 36% shooting.
Nothing there for Dutrieve. He looks again on penetration. Turn, burn, bucket, Devonaire Dutrieve.
You've seen Coach Rice bringing a guy that comes off his bench and have him in the game late. Shows you how much he believes in Devonaire Dutrieve to make plays.
He looked for a moment like he might be out of control. He wasn't at all. Hamilton tries to clear some space. It's swatted away by Acott. Bangs his hands on the hardwood. Shot clock at 3. Hamilton launches it. Off the mark. Tried to get a jump ball, alternating possession. Instead, it was a whistle on Tillis.
Now, Dutrieve right here, you see him get in the lane, compose himself. Great jump stop. And really good finish with the left hand. But you got to give Emmanuel Acott a lot of credit. You know, Hamilton's a hard guard, and he stayed in front of him the entire time. Forced that long shot that resulted in Armush getting that rebound and getting fouled.
Armush drops in the first free throw. Had 2 Arizona Wildcat transfers key in the end of this game. Devonaire Dutrieve and Emmanuel Acott.
2 guys that come off the bench.
Wow. 3-point lead Boise State. Now, this isn't anything scary. UNLV shoots threes when they go to sleep at night. When they wake up in the morning, they shoot threes all the time. So, coach me in this huddle, please. What are we looking at? They're down 3.
Yeah, you're looking at Jenkins. I would be looking at Jenkins to get a look. He's the hot hand right now. You know, you can have Grill as a second option, run an action where you get use Jenkins as a decoy and run Grill off as a second action.
Millions of kids nationwide are without their normal access to sports and play due to COVID-19. That's why Fox Sports and Good Sports are restoring play for kids and the programs that serve them through donations of brand new sports equipment. Text PLAY to the number on your screen to help keep kids in the game, 36413. And if you're Leon Rice, what are you talking about?
You know, he may try to play a zone just to throw the Rebels off a little bit. You're probably going to anticipate them being in a man. He may throw a zone look at them and then immediately go in after the first pass, go into a man-to-man just to throw them off a little bit.
UNLV, 21 three-point attempts in this contest. They've made 7. 33%. Boise State, 8 of 21. Percentage of free throws, or I should say field goal attempts that are 3-point. Number 1 in this conference, UNLV. Shot clock, game clock, 3.1 second difference. Hamilton, little runner. It's a miss. Took a shot at a pair. And now they give a foul and send one of the most prolific scorers in Derek Alston to the line. They went with Hamilton.
Went with Hamilton with the left-hand drive. Came up short.
Tillis is fouled out of this game, and so Alston will go to the line. An 84% free throw shooter coming in, a perfect 4 of 4 in this game. He's got 26 points.
Big night for Alston. Yeah, with this make, he can make it a 2-possession game.
And that's exactly what happened. 27 points, matching his season high.
Now they're looking for Jenkins.
Oh, he bangs that triple home.
That's what I thought they would do that first time down.
Interesting. They're down 1. Jenkins now has 19.
If I'm Coach Rice, the guys that I'm taking my 4 free throw shooters out of the game right there. You see, Jenkins doesn't need a whole lot of time to get it up and get it in. They ran him off a stagger on the baseline. So for Coach Rice, he's going to have to make sure that the ball is in the hands of the guy that he wants to be at that free throw line to secure this game.
Boise State, a 1-point lead. It'll be 2 free throws, obviously. Both teams double bonus. UNLV went into the locker room at the half with a 1-point lead. Boise State's largest run has been an 9-0 in the second half. UNLV, the key to this game, jumped out on top and into a good position with a 14-0 run. I think both of us, White King and I, never at a loss for words. I think we're a little bit shocked from what we saw from Hamilton a couple of possessions ago. Not the fact that he's the key scorer. He is the key scorer, but it felt like they needed a 3, and they shoot the 3 all the time.
Well, it's just that Jenkins is such a hot hand right now. Right now, they're going to look to trap, possibly get a steal before they commit the foul.
Timeout is called at the last moment. Under Coach Utzelberger, you love how that turned out so far.
They made him burn a timeout. UNLV did a really good job denying all the inbounders. Boise sent Shaver long.
All right, here we go. And Mbake Zhang on the end line. The biggest rebel out there will try and do his thing. It's fired deep. It's turned over. We've got 10 seconds to go. Hamilton, Grill, penetrates, goes up, no whistle. Rolling all around, Dutrieve grabs hold, a whistle with 0.1 seconds on the clock. My goodness. UNLV had their opportunity. Hamilton picked the pocket.
You see that right there. You see, I'm surprised Hamilton didn't just go look to score himself. Went to the grill. And Dutrieve did a really good job of retrieving the ball. The loose ball.
I'll take a peek one more time at the clock with Boise State clinging to that 1-point lead. This game, all intents and purposes, is over. And UNLV, a couple of opportunities, 2 of their last 3 possessions, to grab hold of the win and or the tie.
Yeah, I'm just surprised that Hamilton didn't look to score. He's trying to be unselfish, which is great.
Really nice job. You mentioned it, Devonair Dutrieve. That's, you know, obviously look at Grill. He was begging, and I shouldn't say that. He was hoping for a whistle.
Yeah. And that's not necessarily his game. He's more of a catch and shoot guy. So driving to the basket is not necessarily his strong suit. But, you know, UNLV had their opportunities. And, you know, if you're Coach Otzelberger, you can't be upset with your team. They competed. And they were the more physical team today. And, you know, they held Boise to 38% shooting from the field as opposed to 50 in game one. So there was improvement tonight.
Dutrieve will shoot a pair. Misses the first. He's trying to look like miss that second one and end the game. Instead, he dropped it in. Hard to get one off. I mean, you're 0.2 seconds, couldn't do so. So Boise State victorious. Congratulations. The all-time winningest coach in Boise State history is Leon Rice, and he grabbed hold of this one by the hair of his chinny chin. Boise State victorious. And the wins continue for one of the top teams in the country, and certainly here in the Mountain West. 12-3 on the season. Our fabulous Fox Sports 1 production crew and those that hosted us on campus here at Boise State, sports information staff as well. We really were honored to be here. 214 career wins for Coach Rice. He's White King Jones. My name is Darren Sutton. Until next time, we'll see everyone, we hope soon, on campus. Have a good night.